Okay, Darryl, let's do the music. Can you hear it?
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes
Pretending
away?
I'm wearing a watch.
Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. It's an interesting day. Zoom has been acting up all over the place, doing cray things, but we are here. And it's a very special show because I have one guest instead of the usual panel of three futurists. But he is very smart and very savvy, and he has been on this show many times. We are live. Darryl Keeton, wave hello to LinkedIn, to Facebook twice, and to YouTube. There we are. So this is World Tour number 5 in the ongoing, I'll call it sub-series on Technology Revolution about the future of construction, innovation, and AI. So I'm Darryl. Just let me say welcome. How are you? And tell us where you are and what's the temperature. Make me jealous. Go ahead.
Good morning, Darryl Keeton with Centigrade, based in Scottsdale, Arizona, but I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, where yesterday was 70 degrees, and I think it's going to be in the mid 60s today. So quite warm for the end of February.
I'm jealous. I'm in near Knoxville, Tennessee, and it was 22 the other night. Yeah, he's been pumping. Wait till I see the electric bill. And it was 72 last week, so it's all over the place. So let me do my introduction for you, Darryl, and we'll just go as long as we want to. You're going to share some interesting sites for us today. So let me start with the start. Here we are, live on air. Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where construction meets AI, and we'll explore the how. I'm Bonnie D on my Scarlett Mic. I'm hosting with a gleam. Can you see the gleam? I think I'm gleaming. Guiding this global tour where tech fuels the dream. Darryl Keeton is our featured futurist who takes us to tomorrow's buildings today for me and you. From sensors to safety, new visions take flight as data and insight illuminate bright. And now I'm going to do my introduction for Darryl. You can, I think you'll like this. It's a redo of the ones I usually do for you. It's new, fresh. And you can thank Sylvie afterwards. From bold ideas where smart cities begin, Darryl engineers the future from within. The founder of Sensigrate, vision in his sight, advancing transportation through AI's light. From Deloitte's Big Four to Amex's floor, scaling bold ventures from startups to more. Now Darryl builds systems where equity meets flow, driving intelligent futures wherever we go. With sensor fusion guiding each purpose-built move, infrastructure to vehicle data helps traffic improve. From Arizona roads to California's vast span, Darryl ensures safer streets expand across the land. How'd I do, Darryl?
Really well, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, about Sensigrate? We have time since we only have you on the panel, which is wonderful. I'm supposed to ask. And I never did, about your ski trip to Japan. So let's do a little more bio about you. I'm putting you on speaker view and go ahead.
Sure. So I grew up in Colorado, where I'm at currently now. Studied actually accounting and management information systems at the University of Arizona. So really got into the business side of the business world and the tech side. As you mentioned, I started my career at Deloitte in internal audit, risk management, and cybersecurity. So got my hands and feet really wet in the sense of like understanding business as a whole with a risk mind background, and then also in the cybersecurity where I got to grow my technical skill set. And during that time, I worked with different industries from utilities, financing and banking, government, utilities, and even healthcare. So did a lot of stuff around compliance, implementation, risk management. And then shortly after that, I got recruited by American Express, who was actually a customer of ours. Worked there for about a year and realized that the cubicle life was not for me. Consulting's a lot
I,
differently.
I have
Uh,
to laugh because I've been through that cubicle life for decades and no more, no more. Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
keep
so
going.
I quickly learned that I actually had an entrepreneurial bug where I started consulting, helping small businesses that were over $1 million in revenue scaled to 10 million plus. The one of the most successful customers, which I'm actually advising for still on the side, and a good friend of mine is a staffing agency out of Montrose, Colorado. They grew from about 12 million in revenue in 2 years. I worked with them, and they did over about 20 million in total since then. I was really proud about seeing my friend Sam's company grow. But really, my passions is around saving lives and technology, especially AI. SensorGrate's a computer vision AI platform that focuses on opting traffic and also looking at solutions to help prevent fatalities and collisions that end in fatalities or injuries on our roads. We do that by setting up sensors like cameras, radar, and LiDAR sensors connected to the edge on traffic control signals, streetlight poles, where we monitor the movements and activities of humans and mobility users to help our customers, like traffic engineers, understand how to mitigate and optimize the traffic flow. We've done stuff from cities, universities, and smart campus, smart mobilities. And we recently moved into the public safety side, so starting to work with police departments to help them with real-time collision detection. So we're in our eighth year now, been getting opportunities across the US. And that's really excited about what we're doing to serve our community.
I'm impressed. I'm always impressed speaking with you, and I know you through my other shows, but I'm happy to have you share that journey. So you're a founder, correct? You're a
Yep.
founder. Okay, I want to do a show on the future of founders in AI soon. Would you like to be a guest on that panel?
Yeah, I would love to. I think that's now is the time to get into AI because everyone knows what AI is to a degree.
Yep.
But with all the different kind of leaders in Gen AI, there's so many different opportunities and solutions. I've seen what used to take us, a long time to do training.
Yep.
Leveraging Gen AI has helped us simplify some of those processes. So it's a lot, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's a more streamlined process than it used to be. And there's a lot of tools out there and it's always growing. So you got to be someone that's savvy, willing to learn and stay on top of things because it changes so fast.
Yes, absolutely. I started a series called Coffee Break with Game Changers for SAP years ago, and we used to talk about. I did shows on finance and utilities and manufacturing and automotive, almost every industry. 48 series, but we talked about the laggards versus the ones who embraced the opportunities in technology, and this was before we were talking about AI. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I want to get you and Tim Walter and maybe one other founder and talk about founders. I think that would be a great topic. I'll send you a date. We haven't even done today's show yet. So here's what I'd like to do. You sent me a wonderful, well, hold on now. Wait a minute. What about that ski trip to Japan? It's
Oh
in your
yeah.
bio. I've never asked you, and it's time. Tell me.
So every year I have a group of friends that I've met and the group's collective. I think we're in the year 21, 22, where we get together and go on a ski trip for a week somewhere in the US. But we've done international trips. So the first one was to Japan, where we spent like 3 days in Tokyo, which is one of the most amazing cities to go to. I think we got lucky and went before all the tourism buzz went out there. So it's really busy and populated now. But we went skiing in the northern island and stayed in Niseko. In Japan is just like one of the most amazing ski trips possible because they get so much snow, even on a
Really?
daily basis. 2 to 3 feet that you can get. So you're always getting fresh pow. And there's hundreds, not hundreds, but there's a lot of ski resorts in a short distance. So like one morning we woke up, we couldn't ski because it had to do avalanche control. So we drove
Oh,
45 minutes to another resort to go skiing. So this year they're getting a lot of snow where they had to bring the army in to help shovel and remove it, and help, get it off people's houses and bury cars and stuff. So not like what the East Coast is experiencing,
yep.
because they're getting it like on a daily basis out there.
Mm-hmm.
So just an amazing trip, amazing food, amazing culture, and just
Did
a
not
very
know
clean country. Like there's not
that.
a speck of gum on the ground.
Good for the bottoms of our shoes. Thanks so much for MacGyver. He liked the gum, right? For fixing things. Leave that one
Yeah.
alone. So what I'd like to do is read the quote you sent me. I've always asked my guests on the show to send me a fictional quote from a character in a movie or a TV show or a song lyric, and you have picked something that is so classic and so iconic. And I just want you to take a few minutes, please, Darryl, and relate it to our topic today, which is the future of construction, innovation, and AI. And reminder to everybody, I only do the positive opportunities, benefits of AI, current and future. We don't do the woo woo, the doom and gloom, the bad stuff. You can go anywhere and find that, but we're looking at the positive opportunities, those pockets, those little intersections of good things and AI. So Darryl sent the following quote. It's spoken by the character Roy Batty, Batty, aka Nexus 6 combat replicant model. I've got the model number, Darryl. I want you to be impressed here. N6MAA 10816. Boy, that's a big name tag. Played by Rutger Hauer. It's Blade Runner, the movie, 1982 sci-fi film directed by the wonderful Ridley Scott from a screenplay by Hampton Fancher and David Peoples. And this is a quote from Tears in the Rain, which is a 42-word monologue, the last words of Roy Batty, the main antagonist, as he dies during a thunderstorm. Very, very interesting. Critics have said this is perhaps the most moving death soliloquy in cinematic history. I don't know if you knew that. The movie stars Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, and Edward James Olmos. What an interesting, and it's an adaptation of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I like that one too. Here's the quote Darryl has picked. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. I'm not going to cry, but I'd like to. Okay, Darryl, take about 2 minutes and tell me what this has to do with our topic. You're on speaker view. Go ahead.
So sometimes I have to like search online for like good quotes, honestly, because nothing comes to mind. But this one really struck me out of the list of different quotes that came up based on the prompt I put in. I learned last year that in search history, when you're like on Google or Yahoo or Bing, you get like 10 pages, 20 pages of information. Well, in the next 5 years or so, that search history will be all AI generated highly. It won't be human based. So it goes back to kind of the quote of what we see now may be forgotten. And as humans, how do we put our research, our data, information, which is really key nowadays, into searchable results that are not AI driven, but are human publications. And so, I'm not sure how the search engine companies will label, for lack of better words, but how will our data, we don't have encyclopedias in our, our houses anymore, but
Not
how will our
anymore.
data be perceived and recognized as real and not from a computer source?
Very interesting. And I've noticed recently, if I do a search on Google, I use Firefox, one browser, and I use Chrome for certain sites. I'm a technology course moderator for Rhymework Publishing, SAP Press, and StreamYard only works on Chrome. Interesting, Darryl. So I notice if I do a Google search on any of these browsers, guess what? It now comes up and says thinking. That's what Sylvie, my ChatGPT collaborator, that's what she says. Thinking. And the dot, dot, dot until the result comes. That's recent. That's AI working behind the scenes on the search. So that's new. I just say thinking, dot, 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 and then the results pop up. Interesting. Interesting. The algorithms are different. The process is different. And we're hoping it's going to be faster, but we want it to be good and accurate. And doesn't AI always say, check the results? Because sometimes we lie,
So
something like that.
I've started noticing that on Google search.
Yeah,
I like it to a degree. I like it for when I cook and look up recipes or get reminders for recipes, because typically I would have to go through a handful of recipes to like combine my idea of what I want and then throw into my own, creation of it. But it summarizes really well what a common 5 links, 10 links would say about a recipe. And then you can pick and choose. And it's been fairly, I don't want to say the word accurate, but it's been a good tool in a sense from that perspective. Now, if I'm researching other stuff, I dive in further. but it does give a really good summary from a recipe standpoint. If you like to cook, for anyone out there that
Now,
likes to cook.
listen, we are totally off topic, but I'm going to share a screen today, right now, that I never do. And I think you'll get a kick out of this. We're completely off topic. Forgive me. On my Say What show this morning, I do a Say What Good News every morning. Can you see
Hmm.
this?
Yeah.
This was, it just so happened that a chef in Dubai asked Darryl, I kid you not, a chef in Dubai asked ChatGPT to create a pizza recipe. I know. And I just did this at 8:30 this morning and it's selling like crazy. He said, let's reflect Dubai's culinary traditions. And ChatGPT suggested a wild cross-cultural mix of ingredients: Arab shawarma chicken, Indian grilled paneer cheese, Middle Eastern za'atar herbs, and tahini sauce. This gentleman, Darryl, is the head of the international pizza chain, head of their menu development. His name is Sparak Arut Union. I hope I said that right. He says, as a chef, I wouldn't mix these ingredients ever on a pizza, but still the mix of flavors was surprisingly good. And there's a picture. Would you take a bite of that?
Yeah. I don't know where I get half the ingredients. And I still have chicken shawarma on my list to make. But yes, I would definitely try that. And I actually like that idea. That's so for my dad, he likes cocktails and they have like an assortment of liquors that I don't normally keep. So I will go and list the different liquors and mixers, and then it'll create cocktails for me so that I could come up with something.
You're the first person I met IRL in real life who does that. Who uses ChatGPT. I have to start using it. That I have to tell my kids who just, my daughter is an MD, my son is an Esquire, he's an attorney, and they've just started to use uh, Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT in different ways in their work and in their personal lives. And I'm going to have to tell them because they both love to cook. We are so off topic and I love it. This is your modern life with Darryl Keaton and Bunny D.
So what
Okay.
I didn't mention in
Yeah.
my about myself, I was more focused on businesses.
Yeah.
Outside of skiing, my passion and like how I relax is running, working out, cooking really good meals, sometimes too not good, always healthy, comfort food more, and
It
then
isn't always.
finding creative cocktails through ChatGPT.
I love it. Darryl Keaton, this is your life. Eventually, we'll get to the topic, but this is way much more fun. So I don't what I just said. Okay, so let's do a couple predictions before we do the sites, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
You've sent predictions for it. Now this was going to be World Tour number 5. Originally, we had Don DeLoach, we had you, and we had Tim Walter. Then Don wasn't available, and I just met Kendall Johnson, and he is doing some big time things with his company and a big agency I won't name. Just said, clear your calendar. We're talking to you today, and he has a good opportunity. So he bowed out yesterday. And Kendall, yes, I forgive you. You'll come back on the show. So let's see now. I'm going to pick prediction 2, which you gave me a couple of shows ago, Darryl, and let's see where you go with this just briefly. You said AI tools like generative design will be widely used to create optimized building layouts based on cost, sustainability, materials, and energy efficiency. You want to address that just briefly for me? We'll pick one or two more and then we'll go to the show and tell. Go ahead.
Sure. So I'll piggyback just off the recipe concept with the Gen AI. To be creative, we don't, all experts, subject matter experts, may not know everything. And sometimes you need other resources or someone that has the knowledge and experience to bring value to that idea. So you think about working in teams, you're better as a team with very collective thoughts of people that have different experiences from you with different backgrounds and experiences. Well, imagine when you're an engineer or even you're a sole entrepreneur or a small architect engineering team, you can leverage AI tools to say, like, create me a list of all these materials that would typically go into A, B, C, D concept of construction. And then you can research those tools, understand like, hey, what's the market cost today? What will it be in 3 to 6 months? Because over the last decade, honestly, we experienced different delays of the economy or different trades that we're experiencing now. And so you almost have to predict based on shipping, availability of resources, economic statuses in other countries for certain goods and materials. what that impact could be, so that when you're designing and conceptualizing construction projects, you can really understand what your true ROI or future cost or availability of supply will be. I can think about like contractors with certain materials. Like, I'm not going to say materials because I don't know off the top of my head, but certain materials were delayed, which would delay the whole project. But then when it came down for that vendor to supply, the costs went up, and now you're over budget going back for work order. So imagine a way where you can predict forecast, but also leverage AI to give you multiple options based on different scenarios that you prompt in timelines and deadlines to find the most ultimate way to build and design a building, landscaping, etc. You can get, and I go back to where I just said, like, getting different thoughts from different people. Well, the Gen AI tools, depending on the data that's available to it, can really help you, or even if you train an agent, actually, this would be better for an agent solution. You can create better outputs to prepare for what's going to come versus going about your plan from January. You get to June and you're ready to go, but then everything, has changed,
Oh,
or
yes.
supply is not there.
Oh, yes.
So AI can really help forecast, predict, but also give better plans or options A, B, and C if option A unfortunately failed.
Very, very interesting. And I'm going to piggyback using your word on prediction three from a previous show, right on the back of what you said. I think this is a good pairing up. You said AI powered digital twins will become standard, letting teams monitor construction process progress in real time and simulate outcomes for change decisions. So that's a logical outcome of what you were talking about, right, Darryl, as the situation changes?
Exactly. And I think I could just think about when I was in the audit days and preparing for documentation, or asking people for information. You can streamline processes and get people better prepared with communications or alerts or notifications versus like asking them immediately, like something instantaneously and wanting it quickly. You can give them that information proactively.
And let's go to a prediction from, I think this was from the first version of the show we did over a year ago. And this is in your area. You say AI systems will be able to monitor and measure real time carbon emissions from construction activities and passing traffic. Why? Allowing projects to adjust utilization and traffic flow to stay within, here's the key, sustainability targets, including reducing emissions from traffic in construction zones. That sounds very complex to me. You want to just elaborate that on a little bit for us, please?
There's different ways that you can do that. You can set up sensors that measure CO2 output. So getting like prior to construction, what's the CO2 level, and then have sensors at the beginning and end to understand when cars are passing through based on delays, traffic jams, or peak traffic times. But also the other technology that could be set up is connected vehicle data. So you can geofence data from connected vehicles and get information about their emission outputs to understand not every car is going to be connected, but you can understand. Sorry for the dog bark in the background.
I don't
You
hear it
can,
at all. We don't
okay,
hear
so,
it.
all right, I heard it.
Okay.
But you can understand from the connected vehicles that are available in that geofence area what their CO2 outputs are too. So you're able to measure and be proactive in real time the data to make decisions about creating more detours or messaging on boards for people to detour alternative routes to reduce that congestion and emissions, but also to keep your team safer from breathing in those emissions.
There you go. There's that safety issue. Thank you very much. Nice to go through those old predictions because they're still very, very valid. I think we've run through most of the ones you sent me. So it's time for the show and tell. I'm going to give you control of the share, and you have three sites. Take your time. Tell us what we're doing on this world tour, and let's go. There we go.
So the first one, you can see my screen well.
Yes,
Okay.
beautifully.
So the first one is the Waymo driver integration plant being built or has been built in Mesa, Arizona. It's in partnership with a manufacturing company called Magna. So this is a U.S. manufacturing focus on not necessarily AI in the manufacturing side of it, but building AI solutions of autonomous vehicles. So Waymo says that they have about 1,500 vehicles on the roads. I'll tell you what, if you're in Phoenix, you'll think there's more than that because when I was out there last week for a few days, everywhere I went, even late at night, there's like two or three Waymos around or that I see. And you probably see one every mile passing by. So it seems like there's just hundreds of thousands, honestly, or thousands at least. But it's a really cool facility where next year they should be producing about 2,000 Waymo vehicles. And so I'm just reading at some stuff that I
Mm-hmm.
found online. So these are built using the Jaguar I-Pace vehicles. They're designed and assembled in a 239,000 square foot manufacturing facility. It's a multi-million dollar investment. So it's helping create jobs and economic growth in Mesa, Arizona. And just as a reminder, Arizona was a second proving ground for Waymo because they got kicked out of San Francisco back in 2018, and they found themselves in Chandler, Arizona. So they've been there as one of the main hubs for almost now a full decade. Seeing that development grow has been really special, especially for what we're doing in the connected vehicle, connected infrastructure space. So they have over 1,500 vehicles across San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Austin. I was actually in Philadelphia and saw the new concept there. It's kind of more of a shuttle service. And then I also seen it here in Denver. So they're expanding in other markets. I think another market I saw them at a conference was in Atlanta. So they're in a handful of cities. And like I said, they're planning to build over 2,000 more vehicles this year. Um, this is their sixth generation of Waymo driver vehicles,
Mm.
beginning this year with the Zeek R RT. I'm not sure, I think that's the one they'll see in the photo I have next. But it's basically a multi-platform, simultaneously in higher volumes plant that introduces their automated assembly line. So there is some automation in the assembly, but you have to imagine for those that haven't worked with LiDAR, especially the calibration and setup is really unique, where it has to be positioned almost perfectly at 100% to get the software solutions behind the scenes and make it autonomous to work for every vehicle. And in this article that they released last May, it says the vehicle off the line is ready to pick up passengers within 30 minutes.
Mm.
So they have the ability to go from finished production and ready to go to the streets to pick up passengers. Um, let's see what else was in this article here. So it's just a huge initiative in Arizona, especially being the main backyard for Waymo. And it will create to kind of setting the stage for autonomous driving, civil and manufacturing, not just in the US, but across the world.
Wonderful. Thank you. Very, very interesting. They joke about how in Miami, the snowbirds, you go into a parking lot and you can't tell where your car is. I'm looking at all the same, all the same, all the same. Very, very interesting. I guess, anyway, never mind. When you do the clicker to unlock the car, you have to see where the beep goes, right?
Yeah, and one thing I learned last week is one of the challenges with the Waymos and I think they'll solve this, is some passengers will get out of the car and leave the door open. And they've hired DoorDash people, not hired, but they've actually put like a need on DoorDash for drivers or DoorDash delivery people to go to that vehicle and close the door.
What? Talk
Yes.
about it. Talk about the gig economy, Daryl.
Yeah, yes. So that's not something sustainable long term. But and I don't think this happens a lot. But I thought that was unique of automation, but missing a factor of closing the door. But if you think about the cost of setting up automatic door closers, it's probably way more expensive than paying a gig for to go and close it when needed.
Wow. I have a friend who does DoorDash in Southern California. I'll have to ask him if he was ever called to close a Waymo door. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just read that article last week and thought that was really unique.
What's next? Go ahead.
So the next is just a photo of the next version of the Waymo. I just
Mm,
thought it was a cool concept. It's more like a shuttle, like Zooks, out of San Francisco. And this is what I saw being tested in Philadelphia, and then I saw it in Denver too.
Very cool.
So next is the amazing Poke Park, Pokemon Park in Japan that opened up last year. It's basically like a full-on Pokemon experience, where you get your ball and can go and catch the different Pokemon throughout the park. So if you remember the app that they had that got really popular probably over a decade ago, where the Pokemon app that Nintendo released, and people are going around with their phones to catch different Pokemon. This park gives that similar experience, but it's more of an amusement park themed after the very successful franchise. So it has all the rides and amenities. But what it does really unique is it allows you to get fast track, and it tells you when and where to go throughout the park to catch rides, so that you don't have to stand in line. So you basically can map out what ride you want to do, and then it creates a plan for you to show up at each ride so that you don't have to wait in line in time. So you actually get a better experience. Obviously, that's an extra cost, but allows you to get a better experience as a customer, especially if you have kids.
Fascinating, and I'm going to share a Pokemon. You can go ahead, but I have an interesting thing about the rarest Pokemon card and what it just sold for in auction. But I'm not going to interrupt you. I'll do that. I have it teed up from my Say What show. This is fast. Talk about synchronicity, Daryl. This is human synchronicity. Go ahead. This is fascinating. Go ahead, please.
Sure. So some other facts about the park is they have the Pokemon Forest. They have a trainers market, so where you go to train your Pokemon. So like you are able to like get a Pokemon and then go through that whole experience like you were playing the game, but through the amusement park. And so probably if I was there, I'd have to spend a whole week to get like the full experience. I don't know how often I can go back to Japan on top of wanting to go skiing. But they have a Pokemon gym and battle courts. You can actually play your Pokemon against other people's Pokemons in life. It's not going to create the actual creature, but creates kind of a virtual reality experience so that you or the kids can see what it's like being the Pokemon creator.
Fascinating. Just fascinating. Go ahead. This is interesting. You're next. Go.
Go ahead on your fact about the card.
Okay, let me see now. I've got to stop your share. You stop your share. And let me go to my share and let me do screen share. Oh, wait a minute. Everything's popping up. Hold on 1 second here. 1 second. Let's go to Zoom share. How many screens can you have open, Bonnie D? Okay, let's go to screen share and let's see what we've got here. I want to make sure I have the right one. I think this is it. It might come up with this was the wrong. There we go. Okay. Wrestling, can you see it?
I can.
Okay. Wrestling and social media star Logan Paul's rare Pikachu Illustrator Pokemon card. Daryl, this was the holy grail. It was rated 10 gem mint copy for collectors, sold for 16.5 million US dollars at Golden Auctions after 41 days of bidding. He paid 5.275 million in 2021, a Guinness record at the time. He wore the card at 2022's WrestleMania 38. Can you believe this? Only 39 copies were awarded to 1998 Koro Koro comic illustration context winners. That's a tongue twister, making it exceptionally rare. It was designed by Atsuko Nishida. It features Pikachu with paintbrushes, the rarest Pokemon card in existence. What do you think of that?
It's amazing how much it grew in value in a short time frame. So just
Isn't
imagine what it's going to be like another 5 years. But I wonder for the other 38 copies.
I wonder, I bet those people know it, but I just happened to come across this. I do my Say What Good News show every morning, and I don't know why I just came across this a couple days ago, and I thought it would be cool to put into one of the slides for that day. So, boy, we're doing synchronicity here. We had the pizza recipe with ChatGPT, and we got a Pokemon card here. I'm going to go back and stop screen sharing. You've got more to share with us. Go ahead.
Let me see my screen again.
Yes, it's coming up.
So next is the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art in Los Angeles, California, right next to the Coliseum where USC football is played and where the 2028 Olympic Games will be hosted. So I really chose this one more because I thought the design and concept was really unique, where you can see where they really focused on the landscaping, not just around the building, but even on top. So when I think of museums, I don't think of designs like this, but the museum is really unique, and the updates where it creates sustainability in an ecosystem that's inviting for people to come in and explore art in the city of Los Angeles.
That's quite a design. It reminds me of the infinity symbol.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Ve-
And it has like a very futuristic like look, like more than most modern, like almost like I guess back in the day when I was younger, I would say now would be what I would see in the future, or we'd have almost spaceships to Mars, which Elon Musk is working on. But this really looks like almost like 21, 2100 and beyond kind of concept, what the future will look like.
Very interesting. You know what the technical name for the infinity symbol is, Daryl?
No, I do not.
It's lemniscate, Lemniscate, derived from the Latin meaning decorated with ribbons. It was introduced by mathematician John Wallis in 1655. It is also referred to as a lazy eight in concepts like, livestock branding, and by its descriptive name as a horizontal figure eight. See all of the interesting nonsense stuff I come up with for my show every day. Can you believe this? Lemniscate. You can use that word in a sentence now, Daryl.
One thing that's unique about this building, it's actually founded by filmmaker George Lucas and his wife, businesswoman Melody Hobson.
Yeah,
So I think that's where that futuristic, kind of outer space kind of look of it comes from the Star Wars, this Star Wars experience. But it will hold all forms of visual storytelling, including painting, photography, sculpture, illustration, comic art, performance, and video. So I think they even have a performance theater inside so that people can come and explore arts in that manner too.
beautiful. Very, very interesting. Oh my goodness. Do you have any more? I think that's it for you, right?
That's it.
Okay. Let's go back to just us. I want to talk a little bit more. We have a few more minutes to fill there when you stop sharing. And we're coming back. There we are. Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna ask a little more. And you were one of my cool dudes last year, weren't you, on my cool dude show?
Yep, I was.
Yeah, well, Jordan, my engineer who gets us on the Voice America Media Business Channel, just said, "This is just like Cool Dude with Daryl." I said, "Yeah, it's like part two." So I knew we'd be able to fill the time. Daryl, other than Japan, for so many reasons you've given, what are your other favorite places in the world to travel to?
So I went to a wedding in India and had an amazing experience, almost better than going to Brazil World Cup 2014, which was more fun than it was because exploring and learning about a culture, which I did in Brazil, don't get me wrong, but India was just amazing. I jokingly tell friends like, as Americans, the only thing we know about India is the Indiana Jones movie and the Jungle Book. But there's way more history and culture there than you can even imagine. India has four different regions. I was only in the West region, so I visited Goa, Jaipur, where the wedding was at, and the Indian weddings are just kind of mind-blowing. Agra, where Taj Mahal is, which is one of the most coolest, I think, seven wonders of the world. The details of the art intact engraved in all the forget the name of the stone there was just impressive. And then also visit Delhi and New Delhi. So thankfully I didn't get sick. I think I've trained my stomach from eating bad food. I went to like places where like I thought I would get sick. But the culture, the history, just everything about that country is amazing. And I would, tell anyone to visit there at least once. I definitely want to go back and explore the different regions because there's four different regions, north, east, south, and west. But the beautiful thing about it is a lot of my team members, because I hire a lot of grad and PhD students, and most of them are Asian descent, primarily India. So I was able to really connect with a lot of my employees or interns from their culture and experiences in India. So it really just gave me a different grounding of life and a different meaning because when I went, I was in transition from working my first entrepreneurship with a friend. So advice to people, don't start businesses with friends. Keep your friendships first.
Oh, I think we all know
Um,
that one.
and it didn't work out at the end. And I had a trip to go to India, so I didn't really have, a plan for life after. And I went there and it just opened my mind about what life should be because their poor there is not our poor here. Our poor and homeless are middle class. They get food, water, and shelter, and
Ah,
have access there. They don't have anything, and it's a social
hmm.
class system. So,
Mm-hmm.
when I went there, my suitcase got lost, so I literally became like not homeless per se, but like I had a good experience of like I didn't have anything. I just had, what I had in my bag. I had like a couple carry-on items for food and toiletries, but I didn't have anything.
Wow.
So it really just grounded me of like one, I went there without a job and knowing what my next steps are going to be after turning 30. And that really helped me cocoon into an entrepreneur because I
Mm-hmm.
saw life differently and I saw that passion of wanting to grow and help others really came out. So really, Sense of Great's about saving lives, but it's about helping our communities be better with the data that we provide with our customers.
You just provided the intro for my The Future of Founders plus AI show with your story. That's very, very interesting with nothing but just a few things in your bag and finding yourself in another country and then being inspired by their caste system and their lifestyle and opportunities for you to do something different when you came back. I'm fascinated. Okay, we want a couple more minutes. Would you believe we've almost filled the hour, just you and me? I'm not surprised. I knew we could do it. So, question is, other than the cocktails, any favorite foods and favorite music? People are going to want to know this, but it's like part two for
Um,
Cool Dude. Tell me a little bit,
Favorite
couple minutes.
music. So J. Cole, the rap artist, just released his new album, The Fall Off, which is his homecoming story of like beginning to end. And like this is his ass album, as he says. I never say never, but it was a really good storyline of like his life and how he got there from the stardom to relationships to the struggles to the success and even dealing with the success. So that was a really great album if anyone wants to listen to it.
Okay.
But I used to only listen like rap, hip hop, and R&B. But I'm outside of country. I listen to everything, including jazz and blues, rock. Imagine Dragons is one of my favorite groups. Empire of the Sun, EDM. Not really into like going to the concert shows and festivals in my older days and when I was young, but for music. But food, my favorite dish to cook is my enchiladas. I make a roasted green and red, really very, very spicy red chili salsa. So I roast the vegetables, then mix them together. But what I do with the enchilada to make it cheesy is I buy queso and I put it on the inside of the tortilla, and then I wrap the shredded chicken with like green chili, and so it gives like an extra cheesy base to it. And then I mix in shredded cheese with the chicken and green chili a little bit more. And then there's with the salsa, the sauce, there's layers of cheese on it too. So I haven't had any complaints,
Is
but it
this a
is really
Darryl
spicy in the
Keaton
red.
original? This is a Darryl Keaton original, right?
I basically like I said, like with the ChatGPT, I take what's given and then I add my flavor to it, like what I believe can go into it. And my friend said I could definitely sell that because most enchiladas are just meat and sauce, but I wanted to jazz it up and flavor it up. You can, for lack of other words.
Sounds like you did. Let me give you an applause here. There you go.
I'll
You
send
heard
you a
it here
photo.
first. Send me a photo. Oh my. All right, kids. Okay, they're hungry. They're very hungry. Thank you, kids. Quiet down. Are you selling the recipe?
I don't know. It's one of those like secret family recipes I probably need to keep in. But I did give the secret away with the put in the case of the inside of the tortilla.
I think on the founders show we're going to have everybody telling their favorite private recipe and their favorite music. I think we're going to do it as Cool Dude's founder profile. So I'll get you and Tim Walter, and we'll find one other person, maybe a female founder of a company. I'll find some. I have a couple of people in mind. I think that would be a lot of fun to do, and I'm booking for April. By the way, I have a quick question for you before we go. We're almost out of time. My goodness. I was at the National Publicity Summit last night, and I met 45 people. I booked 42 for my creativity show on Monday, which is a roundtable talking about our unique and our shared creativity, how we do what we do, how people, most of these are authors, nonfiction, and what inspires you, what influences you. We've been talking to you about that. But one of them has a book on his advice is don't build a company for an exit strategy. Build it because you love the company and you want to keep it for your success and for your future. Yes or no? Just quick. Give me, you got 2 minutes. Go.
100%. Like you should be building based on your passion and what as I got older, like what I want my legacy to be.
Would you stop saying as I get older, please? Would you what are you, 30, 32?
No, I'm actually 41,
Oh
so
my
turned
God.
42 in October. But yeah, I
Wait a
have
minute, wait a
a
minute. Are you a Libra? Are you a Libra?
no, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, I'm a Libra. Okay, well, we won't
Okay.
celebrate. Go ahead. Go ahead. 4 minutes,
I'm
two
I'm
minutes.
close to the Libra side
We
of
have
it.
one
So.
minute to go. Go finish your
But
sentence,
yeah,
and then
so
I'm gonna play the music.
exits are great, but you really should be doing it about a passion and what you want to bring to the world. Everything else will come from there. But I
Yeah,
100% agree to focus on
yeah.
building a foundation.
Darryl Keeton. It's been lovely. Let's go out with some happy news. You have something to raise? This is
My
from my.
coffee mug, but it's gone.
Let's go out with. Thank you to Jordan Henson is with us as our engineer for Voice America Media Business Channel. I'm Bonnie D. We've been live on LinkedIn, Facebook Twice, and YouTube. Darryl Keeton, don't go away. We'll talk after. You've been wonderful. It's been a real treat having you all to myself for an hour, almost an hour. Shout out to Tim Walter. He's publishing his book the last year. It's so popular, they're taking pre-orders already. There you go. Tim will be back. Hit play. Good news. I got to spend an hour with Darryl. Everybody have a great day. Go out and do something nice for yourself. Do something good for your community. Just be good in your heart.